I don't know who needs to hear this, but there is nothing worth investing other than Bitcoin right now. Listen, I came across this graph recently, and you see one big outlier on here, and that's MicroStrategy. And their investment policy is Bitcoin. Now, if we look down the graph, we see Nvidia, we see Meta, we see massive institutions like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Nothing, and I mean nothing, brings more of a return than investing into Bitcoin. In fact, the closest one is Nvidia, and Nvidia is basically running the S&P 500, and Bitcoin's return is double that amount. I just want everyone to really understand the macro understanding of what Bitcoin actually is. Furthermore, we look at this graph, which is basically the funds, various funds around the world that are making certain returns. And again, nothing, absolutely nothing gives the same amount or even close to the return of Bitcoin in its current moment. We look at all of these investments, and the only ones that has been an actual key investment to put into is Nvidia. But if we compare that to Bitcoin, as we see in this graph, it is dwarfed, absolutely dwarfed by the return. So when people talk about these small little dips and small little movements down, and oh, Bitcoin is down by this percent and that percent and this percent, it would need to fall half in value for it to come close to the next return, that is Nvidia. So keep that in mind. But there's a few more things, just so you understand of how important Bitcoin currently is in the investment profile, and why so many people are still sleeping on this asset. Everyone has forgotten this graph. Everyone. This is where we are at the moment. That black line is where we are at the moment. The others are the previous bull runs. Do you kind of understand how early we still are? People talk about, oh, it's going to be the end, couple of more months and it's over and this and the other. Well, if it's going to be a couple of more months, tomorrow we should be seeing parabolic rises. See, this is the thing that people mostly don't understand about the market. If we're looking at previous runs, and you see we are following a very similar trend, and we see that dip that has occurred on all previous three of these runs that we're comparing this run against, which, it's funny enough, was the Christmas dip. You see that the next stage that we're going to see is a huge movement up. We are still relatively early. Yeah, we might get this dip here later on, or maybe here later on. But in the grand scheme of things, when you aggregate everything together, you will see buying and holding being the absolute key factor in this economy. You need to understand that there is nothing that you can keep your money in right now that will give you a better return, including all the dips that happen. People sell and keep it in fiat. Are you crazy? Don't forget, the Fed literally has said that inflation is going up. Inflation, in other terms, is the value of your fiat currency is going down. It will buy less. What else are you going to put it into? What other project are you going to put it into? You've seen the graph. It's right here in front of you. What other asset could you possibly put it into? And understand this. And this is the key photo of this video. And it's going to explain everything other than all of the rest I've talked to you. This right here should explain to you what the coming incumbent presidency is going to be like. The face of Bitcoin and crypto, and the face of the government that's going to be actually doing all the deals. This is the picture that you should have ingrained in your mind. And people should understand that, yeah, there are some pullbacks here and there, and left, right, and center. But understand that keeping it in fiat and keeping in any other stocks will eventually wear away the value of that money. The only thing at this present moment that is actually making you money relative to inflation is Bitcoin and crypto. That's it. Keep that understanding in your mind so you have a clearer direction on where things are going. Anyway, I'm Alvarez, a 7-figure crypto investor. Like, follow, share, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.